around the Bay, around the world, around the clock. All news 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Coming up on KCBS, a closer look at President Trump's order for ICE to focus on cities run by Democrats.
I'm Jade Hernandez. A South Bay nonprofit is liquidating gowns and dresses.
And they're $20.
All for a good cause.
And Israel claims it struck the headquarters of an elite Iranian military unit. A CBS News update is next.
CBS News Brief. At least 5 dead in Israel from overnight Iranian missile strikes. Israel claims it's hit the headquarters of an elite Iranian military unit. The BBC's Guy Argol is in Tehran.
They are extremely worried. They are trying to leave. And even today, police says all the entrance of the city is open for people to leave the city if they wish.
Conflict now expected to take center stage at a meeting of Western leaders in Canada, among them President Trump. CBS's Willie James Inman.
Before he departed for Canada, the president teased that we could potentially see some trade deals announced on the sidelines of the G7 summit.
Police flushed the suspect out of the woods near his home in the murder of a Minnesota lawmaker and her husband. CBS's Lilia Luciano spoke with Vance Belcher's roommate.
He said that he was a born-again Christian. He cared a lot about abortion back in the day when he first became a born-again Christian, but then he didn't talk about it a whole lot.
CBS News Brief. I'm Deborah Rodriguez.
KCBS News Time is 6:32. President Trump is directing federal immigration officials to prioritize deportations in Democrat-run cities. For more on that, we're joined live on the KCBS Ring Central Newsline by KCBS political analyst Mark Sandalow. And Mark, that's the main topic. But before we get to that, I'd like to ask you, what was the reaction around the nation's capital to the parade on Saturday?
It shows these big patriotic, salutes going on. You go to the Huffington Post, and he claims that the president was bored, or as they say, the king looked rather bored by what he had put together. It was hot and sweltering out here, which it always is in the summer, except for the king's air-conditioned booth where him and the queen were watching this go by. So the reactions were rather what you'd expect. The roads have not crumbled. The military didn't turn their guns on the people, and I think this is pretty much an incident that has come and gone and will probably be quickly forgotten.
Now, what may not be quickly forgotten if it comes to pass is that crackdown in Democrat-run cities. What's going on there?
So what's unbelievable is I don't ever remember a president in my lifetime. I'm sure there are presidents who have said, let's go after the people who didn't vote for me. But I don't ever remember a president saying this as openly as Donald Trump. I mean, he was very clear in something he sent out on social media last night that he wants as many as 3,000 people deported a day. It'll be close to 1 million a year, over 1 million a year. And he's specifically singled out New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. He says these are democratic power centers where, and he has said this a lot, and there's zero evidence to back this up, Democrats use undocumented immigrants to cheat in elections, to terrorize people, and it seemed like a clear play to his base. I mean, there obviously are also hundreds of thousands of undocumented immigrants in Republican states, Houston and Dallas and Phoenix, and it's unclear. But over the weekend, he also has suggested that he wanted to tone down going after farm workers, hotel workers, and restaurant workers because he's got business people complaining, this is terrible for business. These are not the bad hombres you're talking about. These are loyal workers who we absolutely need. The problem is, if you only focus on the bad hombres, you're not going to get 3,000 people out a day. So people are a little confused right now about what the priority is.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. That's KCBS political analyst Mark Sandalow, and KCBS News Time is 6:35. They're off and running on Wall Street. Let's see how the numbers are opening up. Here's Jason.
Eric, market is bouncing back after the heavy sell-off on Friday, getting help from the price of oil pulling back after a big jump as well. The price of U.S. benchmark down more than $1.30 a barrel. Dow's up 273 points at 42,470. NASDAQ gaining 169 points to 19,576. And the S&P up by 42 to 6019. Coming up at 6:55, antitrust regulators take aim at an Alphabet acquisition.
All right, Jason, we will talk to you later on about that. KCBS News Time approaching 6:36. We're going to take you to the East Bay in Concord for a traffic issue coming up.
The last time you checked your house for termites was probably when you bought your house. How long has that been? This is Joe Starkey. With one call to Pacific Coast Termite, a uniformed inspector will come to your home or business and answer your questions and inspect your property. Now, even if you don't think you have termites, yikes, I recommend you call Pacific Coast Termite for a free home inspection to make sure. Certain restrictions apply. If you do have termites, they can get rid of them with no tenting, no double bagging your food, no pet sitting. You can even be home while they do their work. Try doing that when there's a tent over your house. Mention KCBS and get 10% off termite treatments and a 2-year guarantee on their work. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC, or go to PacificCoastTermite.com.
Pacific Coast Termite kills termites.
The clean, friendly way.
When back to the office means back in traffic.
Is still blocking the left lane.
Turn to the traffic leader, KCBS, and your local Honda dealer's traffic center.
We did have 2 left lanes blocked that floor.
Powered by your local Honda dealer's traffic center with a huge selection of affordable HRVs at prices that fit your budget.
You deserve to know the news when it's happening. That's why we're always broadcasting live from the Bay Area. We are the Bay Area's #1 news station. All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Let's find out what's happening with traffic in Concord. Here's Claire from your local Honda dealer's traffic center.
Well, we have an accident here, Interstate 680 southbound. This is right before you get to the exit for Willow Pass. This traffic report is brought to you by the San Francisco International Airport. This looks like a 3-car crash, 680 southbound your Willow Pass. At least the 2 left lanes are blocked off, maybe the carpool and left lanes that are taken out here. Just getting this information in right now. If you're there, give us a call. The KCBS Phone Force phone number is 415-391-KCBS. Beyond that, it's sluggish on 680 southbound toward North Main, where there was an accident at the North Main exit. That's been moved out of the way, but still some commotion there off toward the right side. Not too bad on the bridges right now. San Mateo and Dumbarton Bridge both moving very well westbound as you're making your way from 880 over to Highway 101. Either one is a good choice. If you're heading to SFO from Hayward, it will take you 32 minutes if you're using the San Mateo Bridge. City of San Francisco, traffic looks fine on 101 and 280. No major delays on Interstate 80, but if you're heading through the city on city streets, there's a bad crash that has Sutter closed between Montgomery and Kearney. It was a head-on crash. There's a police investigation involved there, and Sutter is going to remain closed. San Francisco International Airport gets you on your way to new adventures with over 130 nonstop destinations worldwide. More than any other Bay Area airport, SFO connects you to the world. Visit flysfo.com. Our next report is 6:48 on the traffic leader, KCBS.
Still plenty of cloud cover over San Francisco right now, but for the most part, it's going to burn off later on, leaving behind mostly clear and sunny skies during the day. Highs will range from the low to mid-70s at the coast to the mid-70s to mid-80s in the warmer inland spots. We will have a mixture of sun and clouds at the coast, but the rest of us should see lots of sunshine. Traffic and weather together on the 8s on All News 106.9 and AM 740 KCBS.
Liam Maitland here. Are you thinking about trying GLP-1 weight loss medications? Don't wait. Supplies are limited, but Jumpstart MD still has options available online and in person. Plus, start right now and get $200 towards your weight loss program. With 13 Bay Area locations, Jumpstart MD offers personalized weight loss solutions, including those GLP-1 medication options available, wait for this, with or without insurance. Now, in 6 months, I've shed 35 pounds and I'm keeping it off.